show everybody my records here and why I feel the way I feel. And you know, so let's talk about it, okay? Everyone's disability is different, and we know that, right? We know that more and more people, we're all going to have disabilities that are different from who we are. And just because I had kids and because I got married and because I started working to support myself when I didn't have SSI anymore doesn't mean that I I didn't have a disability anymore. It means that I had to support myself and my kids while they were in foster care, or have nothing for myself and my kids. So we have to sit and think about, what does the government really want from us as people? Why do they want to see people on so many medications that they cannot see straight, they go blind, and they cannot think? They don't got a brain anymore. They start to forget where they lived or who they lived with last year or things like that. And a lot of these people, a lot of these attorneys and assistants, they don't have financial worries at all. Because they know how to scam the world, right? They know what to write. They know what to say and what to do and what works and what does not work. So, and that's not to say there's not good attorneys out there. There is. But it just depends on who you are at the end of the day. And do you really like being an attorney? Do you like being an assistant? Because if you don't, well, you're not going to be one. So, the first attorney I had here was with Compass Disability, Benjamin A. Sturzer. Didn't get no help. They didn't get the records that they should have gotten. Okay? And felt like I was, talking to someone that just didn't want to listen to my case. So there it is. There's the letter from Social Security. Appointment reminders. So I went to this one, okay? I went to this x-ray place, and Social Security doctors, I don't know what to say about them other than maybe they are just there for the money, really. Because they're supposed to determine a disability, not lie and say that there's nothing wrong with the person. And this document was for the injury of Light Universal. When I was working there, August 22nd, 2022, that was the date of the injury. And employment for a long time. And then I got, but I couldn't keep my job and be a stay-at-home mother either. So you have to choose at the end of the day what you're going to do. You can either keep your job or be a stay-at-home mother and take care of your kids. And that's if CYFD allows it. So, I decided that I needed a place to live. And, I tried my best to get my kids, and I'm still trying to get them the help that they need. And, so here was, I think, maybe 2 appointments that I might have went to. Well, yeah, see, one was May 2nd, one was May 23rd, and there's 2 different appointments for spine, lumbar, and x-ray. And for an attorney to tell you for the second time that you're not disabled. You don't look disabled. You don't act disabled. Just because you have documentation that shows that you're disabled, they don't want it. They just don't. They don't care. I tried to get records for therapy from attachment healing, and nope, no response. Michelle Coleman, the director of attachment healing, will not respond to my request of my medical records, which is a HIPAA violation, because you cannot tell somebody that they cannot receive their medical records. You cannot use their medical records against them. Been trying to get general assistance, okay? And I was trying to get the therapist that I thought I had, Christina Candelaria, to fill this out. I'd sent it to the Dragonfly Counseling Services office. They rejected it. They said that they never got it, even though it's clearly stamped by the post office that they did receive it. And she did not want to fill it out. So there's that. This paperwork from the Income Support Division for all my medical records. I don't even know if it was filled out properly by the people that are supposed to know what to do. So I have to probably look at it and possibly resend it back to them to show that they did not do their job properly. So there's that. I did this. I completed this document, this email, and I sent it to Judge William C. Parnell, because CYFD lied about me, and they wrote on a false affidavit, case number D202JQ202517, that I didn't supervise my daughter Holly, who has autism. And that's a lie, because my kids have not been in my care for 2 years, and CYFD has not made the effort to reunify them completely with me and give me all the assistance that they should be giving me. They have been biased against me, just like the government has been for so long, which needs to stop. It really does. It doesn't make America look good. It clearly tells the people that you're not a United States citizen, even if you're born here, even if you have a birth certificate, even if you have a social security card, even if you put time into the jobs that you had, even if you pay taxes, you're not worth nothing to them. And they don't care, because they're not struggling like you are. Do you know how many times I've worn this shirt? Plenty of times. Because I don't have the money to go buy another one. The clothes that I have, I recycle it because I don't have the money to keep buying more new clothes. So, I save what I got and use what I got. This document right here, okay? I filled this out and I submitted it on June 24th, 2025 to Ben Ray Lujan's office, And I clearly told him, and I submitted it to Social Security, I believe, that why I need disability benefits. And they don't seem to care. And I put, subject, dire need request for expediting processing of disability claim. Maybe somebody did get this information and maybe they did actually read it and actually process it. And hopefully someone did. But I'm going to my records because the attorney that I have that's on my case right now, he wouldn't even look at my records. He would not. They wanted me to bring in records from my income. Social Security said that too. And I go and I try to bring them in, and he already pulls them from years back. And then he tried telling me that I earned, that I was still working with Blackstone Security in March when I actually had the letter to prove otherwise from Scott Clark, thankfully. So that's not good. That is not good when an attorney does that to you and tells you when you worked, when you know when you worked. It's almost like they're trying to test your mental health to see if you're completely crazy or, mentally ill, mentally unstable, so that they can write it down. I don't know what it is, but I have a resume that my boyfriend helped me on, and I've tried to find even a part-time job, and there's no places that are other than security, and I cannot do security anymore, and it's because I don't want to be so severely injured that I can't raise my kids, can't live. I mean, and security guards are not respected anymore. They're not. I mean, see, there's this letter from Social Security. So much stuff from them throughout the years, right? There's this other letter from them. We just got so much stuff. There's letters about the hearing, and the attorney didn't even go through none of this stuff. He didn't even want to see my records at all, and that's what makes me wonder, who is this attorney working for? Is he working for me? Is he working for Social Security? Because if he's working for me, he wants to see my records. He wants to see all of it, just part of it. And then I just didn't know. So a friend of mine that passed away, her name is Holly Dice, if I'm saying it properly. She talked about the FICA earnings, okay? And just this one document, me working in 2020, you can see FICA earnings, $414.40 of FICA earnings. Federal earnings. So we're paying into the government. We are paying into the government, the federal government, state government, the IRS, all these agencies. We're paying into them. Every time we go to work, we're paying into them. And it says year to date, $3,267.98. And then, I had vacation pay that I was supposed to receive. Never got it. It's on here. It's balance zero. They zeroed it out. It's like once you quit this job, you're not approved for vacation pay. That means they're making you pay extra for those vacation. It's like, I don't know. I don't understand it. And, so yeah, and there's that one. So, and there's this one from 2021. See, so Medicare wages and tips, $23,989.03, and that was for the year of 2021. You know, I worked hard. I struggled a lot, especially graveyard shifts. Graveyard shifts are very hard on the body, very hard on the mind. When you are there by yourself at night and you are having to, excuse my boyfriend, he's sleeping right now. You know, you have to stand there and you have to observe that place, that parking lot, that bank, that store, whatever it is. And you have to think for yourself, oh, what am I going to do every hour on the hour? What am I going to do? When is my break? You're basically guiding yourself, right? You're not, there's no supervisor that's going to come and say, hey, Monica, are you okay today? Are you, is it going good tonight? How's it going tonight? How's the shift? They don't care. Okay? He asked for medical records, right? And, so I have these medical records. From 2017. And what are they trying to tell me? That the time that I spent going to counseling, even if it was court ordered by CYFD or not, that it's not valid? That somehow it was a waste of time? Is that what they're trying to say? Because I went to couples counseling and I went to regular counseling. 75 to 80 minutes. And I have the receipts right here from CPI, right here. Okay, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. And my counselor clearly said, some that are not marked provider is another counselor. You know, and this attorney didn't even want to see my records to find out what's in there. Okay? This one right here, I got from Showman Staffing when they were still open. Jennifer Showman. I was really glad for that company because that's where I learned my skills of being a banquet server, a dishwasher. With Showman Staffing Services since December 2006. She has worked many temporary assignments in that time. She shows up on time and is very reliable. She is a hustler and a super hard worker. She has worked in a variety of positions, banquet serving, dishwashing, etc. She gets along with others. She works well with her team or independently. We have found her to be a very valuable employee. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call me. They never called this manager, but she was really nice and she really cared about the people that worked for her agency, and she fed us and made sure that everybody was properly dressed and ready to work. And a lot of people would say that they were working for Jennifer Showman. So this was from November 15th of 2020. And it was a request for reconsideration. Okay. And they had said that Benjamin Sturzer was not an attorney. And And I don't know how, because he was online, and I found him online. That's how I got, the first evaluation. And this is my bank statement. And as you can see the balance? You see where it says 0? 0. There is no money in that bank account. It is closed. I actually owe the bank. So right now I have a lot of debt because of my ex-husband and CYFD assisting him with his supposed disability, and they don't care. They just don't care what happens to me, what happens to my children, and they don't care about people with mental health problems. So thankfully for Facebook at this time, when they were actually letting people post and were, so I have this from Dragonfly Counseling when I attended Dragonfly. And July 10th, 2018, Emotional Regulation Group, now at 5:30 p.m. See how it goes. July 23rd, 2019. Here's the video of the CYFD home visit. Another one is scheduled for Tuesday, August 20th, again at 1 o'clock p.m. August 26th, 2019. Second CYFD home visit. I'm guessing they are looking for loopholes. They just can't see it for what it is. Facebook wouldn't let me post, so let's see now. March 21st, 2018. God help me, a couples counseling, CYFD meeting and parenting group today. And I said that because it's very hard when you're, you have so much to do and so little time to do it. And then, you have to go back home, clean your house, and get ready for work. As if nothing else affected you throughout the day. You didn't have no emotions, no worries, no concerns, no thoughts, nothing. When I actually do. I'm a human being, I'm a person. And for someone to sit there and say, oh, go ahead and get dressed for work, put on a smile, and act cheerful and happy, and be glad you're making this money. And it's not just about the money. It's about living, being able to really live without fear, without worry that something you say or do is going to hurt you in the future. September 18, 2018, childhood trauma therapy today at 1 o'clock p.m. Then the CYFD benchmark meeting at 3 o'clock p.m. Now, if I'd have known better, I would tell everybody right now, don't go to those meetings with CYFD. Here's why. You'll never win. They will continue to tell you what you are doing or not doing, or how much you're doing, or that you're not doing enough, that it's not good enough. That's why I started documenting my case, keeping track of my records, and basically being my own attorney. Because you have to. If you don't do it, if you don't keep track of your own records, you'll have people like this telling you who you are, what you've done. If you're, how disabled really are you? What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to be blind? Are we supposed to be so crippled we can't walk? Am I going to be considered disabled if I go and, cause my diabetes to get so bad that I end up in a wheelchair? What is it going to be? Am I supposed to be with salt and pepper hair to the point where I look so wrinkled and old and damaged that finally I get disability benefits 20 years later when the government has more than made enough money off of me and my children? Dragonfly Counseling, May 1st, 2018. At 4 p.m., childhood trauma therapy and emotional regulation class. Twice, 2 classes in one day. Dragonfly Counseling, July 17, 2018. Emotional regulation class. Let's see, at the State of New Mexico Children, Youth, and Families Department. August 19, 2016. That was actually the day of my ex-husband's birthday. So much would I have to put my emotions on hold and be strong and get through this. Happy to see my babies. They are growing up too fast. Can't wait until this is over and they are home. The day that comes, we will celebrate. I miss them so much, but I have to put my emotions on hold and be strong and get through this. And I did my best. And my kids know that. They know that in their heart and their soul. Let's see. Dragonfly Counseling, May 8th, 2018. Therapy at 4:45 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. Then emotional regulation class at 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. Schedule change this week. We'll be back to regular time, hopefully next week. I mean, do you see how many times I reassessed my life? My job schedule. The job that I could get. Because I tried to get my kids back. And I couldn't take care of myself, really. Because I was busy trying to be a mother and trying to keep track of my own case and trying to make sure that my ex-husband was not doing improper things online and just taking care of everything. Here's another receipt of work. I mean, I have plenty of receipts from work, so I'm not going to waste so much time on that. So I tried to get this approved by Social Security Disability Termination. I called the Presbyterian Pulmonary on Harper and the pulmonary department, and they told me that I could schedule an appointment with my own doctors or to Presbyterian. So I tried that. And then a lady named Emily at Disability Termination Office said that they weren't going to cover it, that I wasn't allowed to do it. So they wanted me to go to Santa Fe knowing that I don't have a car to drive, I don't have income, and they didn't want me to use the train. They didn't want me to use Safe Ride. They didn't want me to use Uber or Lyft. So that is clearly discrimination. When you're telling somebody you want them to go to a doctor's appointment and you don't want them to use no outside resources of transportation. So how do you expect me to get to my appointment if you're telling me that I cannot use Uber, I cannot use Lyft, I cannot use Safe Ride, I cannot use the train, and I don't have a car to get there, so how do you expect me to get there? How did you expect me to do that? I hope you explain that to the judge with this, if it happens, December 4th hearing. Okay. Now, I don't know how this all works. I don't. But the more I read it, the more I'm learning. And hopefully I'm teaching somebody out there how to fight for your disability benefits. And, you know, they're saying right here that you might lose some benefits or not qualify for any benefits, and they could deny the new application using this decision. The facts and issues are the same. So what they're trying to say is that they're expecting you to be so disabled that you can't walk, you can't talk, you can't hear, you can't feed yourself, you can't bathe or clothe yourself. And that is bad. That is horrible. That is wrong. It's evil for an agency like Social Security especially to do that to people. To tell them that if they're not practically dead, they're not disabled. What is the whole purpose of the if you're going to go against it, if you're going to use it to deny someone their benefits. So they don't think that I have a disability because I have asthma, diabetes, sleep apnea, bipolar disorder, lapse in memory, seizures. I don't have seizures anymore because my doctor said that I didn't have them. He gave me a video EEG at UNM, and so he did clear me from that. That's why I was able to get my license and drive, thankfully. And I was able to get off the carbamazepine, which was Tegretol, that I had been taking since I was a kid, since I was 5 years old. And low back pain, I do have low back pain because my ex-husband threw me from the stairs of our apartment. And the last job I had, I tried to keep that job by telling Michelle Jaramillo, the HR manager at Mission Foods Tortilla Factory. I asked her for their agency to put down safety hazard mats, and they only did it for show, and I know that because of the picture they took and they sent it months later. But that doesn't mean that they continued it. I can almost guarantee they did not continue that. And that is why Mission Foods is the #1 place where they will hire and fire people like that so quickly without one thought, because nobody has held them accountable. Here's another packet from Disability Determination Office. So you're supposed to fill out, basically give them your whole life, right? Your whole life. So here it is, right here, okay? This was it right here. They wanted me to go to Santa Fe, okay? And, they didn't care that I didn't have a way to get there. And right now, I'm thinking that it's against, I'm sure Medicaid has laws, codes, statutes, whatever you want to call them, and against the Constitution for them to tell me that I can't use public transportation of any kind to get to my medical appointments, or use transportation using my insurance. That is discrimination in itself right there, because I am making an effort to get to that appointment, and you are telling me that I cannot use any transportation to get there. And I know this lady, Emily, is going to deny what she said, but my boyfriend was there, sitting there listening to her tell me that. That's why it's so important for these attorneys to actually take a look at your records. And this one right here, okay? December 17, 2024, Social Security. There it is, okay? They put Program Discrimination Complaint, docket DAL 5552024. Dear Monica Griego, Social Security Administration, SSA Center for Compliance Management, CCM, received the above reference complaint on June 24th, 2024, from David Chavez on your behalf. After carefully reviewing the contents of the complaint, CCM is not authorized to investigate the case as a civil rights matter because CCM does not have authority over the concerns raised in the complaint as explained below. So let me ask you this, and this is for anyone that just wants to join and answer. Give me your opinion if you want. Why do they have all these forms and these documents that says that you can report any complaint that you have to the government at the federal level or the state level. And then when you actually complain about something, they don't care what happens. And they write you a letter like this, saying that it's not discrimination. What is it? What is it when one of your own employees, Social Security employee, tells someone that is disabled that they are not disabled? Like, this lady did not, I wrote this down just for documentation. I wrote, in 2023, Disability Determination Services sent a letter to David A. Chavez regarding Monica M. Griego's disability. Wednesday, June 12, 2024, David mailed records of Monica M. Griego's disability to 3 regional offices in hopes that David will receive a response other than that the file is or isn't closed. Monica has been without her disability benefits since 2016 and was told by an SSA employee named Lynette Hayes that Monica wasn't disabled and didn't qualify for disability benefits and needed to go back to work. Monica had been trying to get a job through a division of vocational rehabilitation offices, and after Monica moved to Albuquerque, this office refused to help her find a job. Monica's disability is the reason for her inability to work. I wrote this down to keep track of my own case, because I don't know how many attorneys are actually willing to work on a case, what their pay rate is, what they're really seeking. But eventually you do figure it out, by how they treat you and how they act. So this was requesting a hearing for administrative law judge, and so the exposed hearing is going to supposedly be December 4th, and hopefully there is if I'm working on my own case, then I don't even need an attorney at this point. Because what is that attorney going to say to get the judge to change their mind? Because when judges meet you, they decide either you're disabled or not. They, like this right here, this letter right here. Okay? Right here. Look at this letter, okay? I'm writing to tell you that you do not qualify for disability benefits. It says I didn't work long enough. Okay? So, that was in 2017. Okay? So, I worked 8 years. Maybe more actually now. Because I had to recently go back to work for a short time to make sure that I didn't end up homeless again. It's really hard being homeless. It's hard being at the shelter. You can lose your stuff in a matter of seconds. Again, I apologize. My boyfriend is sleeping, and sorry if you can hear him in the background. But there is just so much that so much to do. This attorney could have reviewed my records and chose not to. Like this one right here. Just getting $182 a month. They expect you to live off of that. What are you going to do with the $182 a month? Unless you go to the thrift store and everything is 50 cents or a quarter or a penny. Then you can buy maybe $180, maybe $160 worth of stuff. At this point, the government should give cell phones for free, really, because they're not wanting to admit to the public that they've been selling our birth certificates on the stock market for years. They've been making money off of us and our children for years. And that's why America is rich, disgustingly rich, I should say, like the movie Little Women. And they don't care if you're homeless. They don't care if you're hungry. They don't care if you recycle your clothes like I've been. They don't care what you feel like in your heart, in your soul. They don't care if you have cancer. They don't care if you're blind or deaf. They don't care if you can speak. They don't care if you can read or write or spell. They don't care about nothing. And it's obvious when your own attorney does not want to look at your records and does not want to actually work on your case, but is willing to do it for someone else who is 10 or 20 years older than me. And because they're not on social media. And really, what does social media have to do with it? Because most of these people don't take pictures. They don't have a life to live. They don't want to have a life to live. Or they're secretive. So because they're not taking a picture, they're not enjoying their life. They're supposed to be depressed and suicidal and close to dying. Is that what will make somebody disabled? To the point where the government will finally say, you know what? This person is disabled. I chose to stop working as a security guard and not renew my license, not try to, because I don't want to get hurt on the job again. This tooth right here, I lost it because I was working. And a homeless man, I honestly believe that Judge Marie Catherine Ward paid to assault me at work, because I had been a security guard for plenty of different companies throughout the years, and not once did I ever get assaulted anywhere that I worked. And I worked at some places that were dangerous. But the more I tried to exercise parental rights, my human rights, constitutional rights in regards to CYFD and my children, this so-called judge who doesn't use the Constitution in her courts and has an oath of office that doesn't follow the Constitution, I know she paid someone to assault me, because a year later she closed my case, and she didn't even close it. She signed paperwork, but she didn't get it notarized. There was no court seal. And when I took it to Social Security, they told me it was a fraudulent case because it did not have the judge's signature, the court seal, the notary, and CYFD did not like that. The judge herself did not like that. So really, what is it with these judges? Are they really following the letter of the law? Are they really doing that? Or are they just lying? What's it going to take? What's it going to take to show and recognize that I am disabled? Because the government is not in my body. They don't know how I feel. They don't know what I have been through. And I should have never went to jail because of standing up for my rights and my children's rights. everyone's disability, like I said in the beginning, is different. So I'm hoping that someone got some kind of knowledge from this video. And I'll be back. Because I have to show the other part of my records so that people can see and understand that what I'm trying to do is get my disability benefits so that I can get my children back, pay my debts, and get housing, get everything that I'm supposed to get so that I can live secure. And I did work hard. And I've not been able to find jobs. And let's be honest, you can't make someone hire you if they don't want to hire you. Discrimination is going to always happen in America. Whether it's based on race, gender, age, height, weight, disability. And I have put in my records when I apply for jobs that I am disabled. Is there something wrong with that? Am I supposed to lie and say that I'm not disabled? I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to hide who I am. Social Security needs to do their job the right way. They need to process their paperwork. They need to evaluate records, take a look at the records, do the right thing. Really help your people, and really do your job at the end of the day, knowing that when you go home, you really did do your job. Because if you can give immigrants all of our money, all of our hard-earned money, and you can claim that they are disabled so easily just because they were born in another country, then you can do it for the American people too, who really do have a disability. We shouldn't have to bare our whole soul to you for you to see the truth of who we are. So my message is, Social Security needs to do their job, and all these agencies, do your job or lose your job, because eventually that's what's going to happen. If you don't do your job, you're going to lose your job, because the real judge is God. God knows the pain and suffering that I've been through. He sees it. So just because I put on makeup and I smile my pictures, or I go and I buy a pair of sunglasses and I take off my prescription glasses, or if I was to go and wear contact lenses, or put a nice necklace on, does that make me any less disabled? No, it doesn't. I still have pain. I still have suffering. I still have a mental illness that you don't see. It's taken me time. I put it right here in my hand so that I remember at the end of the day that I don't have to rush through life. That I do have time. I have time to learn how to cook carefully, with patience, following a recipe slowly. When I sew things, when I sew clothes, I can take my time. I don't have to rush to sew pants 90 miles an hour. I can actually take my time and That's what we need. We need to learn how to take time to do things properly. So, when an attorney tells you that you need more medical evaluations, you need to be on medication, disability does not, you don't need to be on all this stuff you don't need to be looking like you're crippled. To be considered disabled. And if you do, that's not a judge. That is not a judge that cares. And it's not just about caring. It's about seeing with your eyes, hearing with your ears, not acting arrogant. Into getting these jobs. Like when I worked at the bank at 500 Marquette, it was difficult. I had a lot of anxiety that I had to keep to myself. But I made the real effort of going and checking each and every office building throughout the whole night, telling myself, it's okay, you're gonna be okay, Monica, you're gonna get through this. Basically being my own counselor, my own therapist. Knowing that when you're a security guard, it's a very lonely job. And you're going to be alone. And your thoughts are going to wander. You're going to be maybe at peace. But as a woman, you're going to be afraid as well, too. Because you don't know who's in that building. You don't know if there's someone hiding behind someone's desk ready to stab you. You don't know if there's a snake in there. There could be a snake ready to bite you. There could be a dog that's in there, ready to attack you. Like a Rottweiler. Pit bull. Could happen. And then you gotta figure out, where's the bathroom in these buildings? And how do I get in one? Especially if they have codes on the doors. So there's a lot to being a security guard. There's a lot that you have to learn on your own, most times. Because someone's not going to always be there to train you. So, when it comes to disability, they need to think about the person, their background, and what's happened to them. And if these doctors are not willing to do their job properly, they're not working for you, they're working for the government. So I hope that every doctor out there starts to really think about how you're helping your clients. When your clients are going to you and asking for your help, what are you doing to help them? Or are you doing it for the money? What's going to happen when that money comes to an end and you don't have the money anymore? Are you still going to be that doctor? Are you still going to help your clients that used to come to you because they had insurance? What's going to happen when they don't have insurance? Are you still going to want to see them in your office? Or see them at all? Or are you just going to give up and say, you don't have insurance, so I don't want to see you? But if that person can't pay you $200-300 for every visit, what are you going to do then? That patient, that client of yours, are they going to die because they weren't able to get prescriptions filled anymore? We got to think about the end times and how it's affecting people. When I was at the shelter in 2023, I almost died. If it wasn't for that lady named Jerry, I probably wouldn't be right here, sitting here, able to tell anybody about my disability, or how hard I worked, or what's happened in my life. She told me I was cold, that I did not have a heart rate, that I was dead. And I know I shouldn't have said this, but I said, if I was dead, why didn't you let the dead rest in peace? Because, let's admit it, okay? We don't really need to wait for Christmas to come to have peace on earth. We can create peace every day, just by respecting other people's boundaries and recognizing that we can be peaceful. We can live in peace. We don't need Christmas to do that. We can do it every day if we choose to. Like these agencies, they know they can work. They can actually do their job. Like this attorney's assistant, Gary Martone's assistant, Melissa Jarvis, told me that if I could write the way I wrote in an email, that I could do office work. And like I told her, I said, there's nothing wrong with my English. What am I supposed to do? Not read, not write, not practice my reading and writing, not look at the laws, not try to study the laws. I know I can't go to college because I don't know algebra. I don't know algebra enough to pass college courses. And I'm probably never going to know it. It's just a different part of the brain that you have to use to know that. And I don't have it. And I know I don't. And I'm okay with it. So that's why I'm doing things differently. Because I did attend special ed classes in high school. And it was an easy graduating from high school, passing the tests. And I'm pretty sure they probably passed me. We use a different part of the brain for math and for English. And when you've been in foster care like I was, you've lived the life that I have lived. You'll understand why I do things the way I do them. Like I'm sure people say, hey Monica, that tattoo on your arm, it didn't hurt, right? When you have so much pain, you have to figure out how to deal with it. How are you going to handle that pain? And this wasn't just because I wanted to get my cousin's name, but it's because when I was growing up, that was like my little sister. The sister I didn't have. I was a kid and I was taking care of her. And, this tattoo right here, it was free. They said it was to support breast cancer. So I said, sure, I'll get it. It's free. These tattoos, I got them because my dad. And even more, recognizing that Jessica Javiso killed my dad. She finally admits it. She finally came forward and admitted it after she collected 2 insurance policies on him, which should be illegal. Social Security should be looking into that as well, because she claimed that my dad did not have any children when we know he had children because his name was on my birth certificate. I have his letters from when he was in prison. I have pictures of me with him. So, yes, that is my dad. That is my father. And she can't take that from me. So there's a lot. There's a lot that I'm going through. And by the grace of God, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. And thankfully, I'm not homeless. Thankfully. And I pray and I hope to God that I'm never homeless again, because it was very hard. It's very hard when you have to figure out how you're going to keep yourself safe at night, how you're going to keep yourself warm. What's going to happen if it rains? What's going to happen if it snows? Where are you going to go? People have asked me before why there's so many people that are homeless. And it's because nobody wants to welcome anybody in their home. Even though they know they have room. They know they have a bed. They have more than enough food, more than enough money to help that person. They don't want to. That's how greedy America is right now. That's how greedy America's always been. They don't want to help you. So I'm hoping that as 2025 comes to a close, Social Security and all its employees will do their job, do what they need to do the right way, and recognize that President Trump is going to end up cutting Social Security for that reason. People are not doing their jobs. They don't want to help the public. They don't want to help people process their case and get approved for disability benefits, or SSDI, or both. We should not be people that are needing to practically die to get those benefits that we know we are entitled to, because not only did we work and put time and money and effort into the government, but they sold our birth certificates on the stock market for $3 trillion each, and they have been doing that for decades. And you can find that in the Unrebuted Affidavits of Truth book by David Robinson on Amazon. I've talked about that book several times. It's a really good book, and I recommend it to everyone. Thanks for listening.